So as most of you know, I'm starting a brand new Amazon account with 5 grand. If you're new to the channel, you might not know that, so you want to check out the last 2 videos. But I'm going to be documenting the whole thing here, and I figured today would be a good day to actually illustrate the exact game plan, my mindset and roadmap that I'm going to be implementing over the next 90 days, where I feel like once I do all these things, it's just going to be a matter of repeating that process over and over and over again to continue to compound this original 5 grand into, of course, our target goal, which is going to be $5,000 a month in profit from this. That's the thing with Amazon. If you can implement the systems and the foundations down correctly from the start, you're not going to have to be doing the same boring task day over day for several years. I think we can honestly set this thing up within the next 90 days to where only thing that I'm going to have to do is review the products that I'm selling, review pinged leads, potentially my VA's things, and just make buying decisions, which I'll probably end up outsourcing as well for this business. So our goal here is starting with this $5,000 total dollars in capital to get it to a point where we can now transform this $5,000 into, again, $5,000 per month. And this is not sales, this is going to be pure profit, right? This is what our target goal here is. Now, realistically, we're probably not going to get there within 90 days. I just think that's silly. That's way too soon. We'll probably be at a point where we've turned this 5 grand into a total of $10,000 to $12,000 within 90 days. And then we're slowly on the way at that point to getting to a point where we're making 5K consistently a month. Now, the very first 0 to 10 days, the real goal that I've already done is just creating the foundations. And this is exactly what I did. We, of course, have to set up the business properly. And one big mistake people do is they don't get the pro account. Okay, you need the pro account to sell on Amazon if you want buy box, if you want to get things ungated, if you don't want to pay as many fees. You need the pro account immediately. If you're going to take this seriously, if you have any ambition to make this work, pro account's a must. That's the first thing that I did. And then the very first 2 tools that I got myself were SellerAmp and Keepa. Now, out of these, Keepa is a guaranteed, you need Keepa 1000%. SellerAmp, there's honestly alternatives. SellerAmp's one that I've always used, and it's, in my opinion, the easiest to use. But there is alternatives. At the end of the day, I use SellerAmp strictly as like a profit calculator and to get quick looks at the offer counts or like who's selling it, how big they are. It's a very quick look at it in the offers tab. Now, another 3 components that all tie into each other that I've also set up at this point is going to be my actual buy sheets. Okay, this is what I'm putting all my purchases on, right? Make sure you are organized here, please. There's going to be a lot of leakage. I'll give you an example already. I already ordered twice from one company. Both times they canceled the order. Both times they did not actually refund me. And at this point, it's already been 10 days. So I had to actually call them up and say, what's going on here? What's going on with my order? I placed the order. It hasn't shipped yet. There's no indications that it got canceled, but over the phone, they told me it was canceled and they had to manually process the refund. Now, imagine I just didn't have a buy sheet and I just placed the order and I went crazy. I'd have no idea. And I'd already be out $400 of this 5 grand just like that. Okay. There's a lot of leakage that occurs inside of an Amazon business. And that is one of them. That is why having a clean, organized buy sheet is so incredibly important. The other thing that I actually have been building out here is the lead sheet. Okay. Now this is something that I'm going to talk about in the following phase, but the lead sheet is important because we're not going to be approved in all the products today. But it doesn't mean that I want to forget about them. If I'm sourcing with my strategies, which is the brand infiltration strategy I made a video on this page before, I'm knowing for sure that as soon as I start to build some sales with this account, I'm going to be looking into this lead sheet. So I've already have over 50 products I've been able to put inside of this lead sheet that I can't sell yet, but I'm going to be approved in. So make sure you're building out a lead sheet. This is extremely important because these will start to get approved. Now, the last thing is a tracker. Okay, this is another sheet that I use. This isn't for products that are buyable at this moment, but they're products that were buyable several months ago or maybe a couple weeks ago. And for some reason or another, the price has fallen, typically due to the increase in offers. So I'm actually setting alerts inside of Keepa right there to get alerted for these and also put them into a spreadsheet so I have easy access whenever I get pinged. The goal here is we do this early on, and within the next 90 days, I'm getting alerts inside of my tracker right here. My lead sheet is just easily tappable into because these are all now buyable. And of course, my buy sheet is just monitoring everything to make sure that I'm actually receiving things that I order. I'm sending things out that are coming in, and it just keeps you organized. Please, like, this is important. The buy sheet's important. And I talk to a lot of people that don't set this thing up, and they're doing like 100K, like they've sold 100K on Amazon. They don't have a proper buy sheet up, and they don't know if they're profitable. A lot of times because they haven't set up a buy sheet and they don't have no idea where the money's flowing. You must organize before you even decide to scale. Okay, and this is easy to do. This could take you literally like an hour to set up. SellerAmp has Google Sheets that you can connect to and just set the columns up. Very, very, very easy. Okay, so this should literally take you like an hour max. Now here's where things start to actually turn up. So here's where the first buys are happening and why this is so important. So from day 10 to day 30, this has been the goal, and this is the current stage that I'm at. I'm waiting for inventory to be checked in at the moment. But essentially what we've done here is we need to build our first 200 sales. Okay, this is a very important metric we must hit. Think about it like this, right here in this frame, as everything is restricted, right? You start to build up some sales. Maybe we hit right around here, 100 sales. We start to slowly notice that more products inside of here are beginning to get littered with things that we can actually sell and we're approved for. But it seems like the sweet spot is right around 200 sales. Now, the reason to this is because when you do 200 transactions on your store, your account health actually goes up +4. So you go from a 200 account health score to a 204, which seems to be causing much more approvals, which is what I'm trying to shoot for right now. A lot more products are approved. Now, obviously not all brands, like you're not going to be approved in your Pantene, Nike, Adidas, those big brands that you might think you want to sell, but honestly, you don't want to sell those anyways. You may never get approved in some of those brands, honestly. Like there are some brands out there that you can look into, and we've done a test on this before, where you can take a brand, a good example is Colgate. Okay, I did a search for Colgate, and the smallest seller on Colgate, the whole entire listings, has 110 reviews. And I'm talking Colgate branded, not like a misbranded Colgate listing. I'm talking branded Colgate listings that you want to be selling on. The smallest seller had 110 reviews. The second smallest seller had 400 reviews. So these are brands that you're probably not going to be able to sell. But if you're using proper sourcing strategies like my brand infiltration one, you'll never be seeing those anyways. So it should still be easy to find products. Now, obviously the goal here is hit this 200 sales so that now I can begin to tap into my lead sheet of these 50 ASINs, and I have much more things I can buy, which means I can be more picky with what I'm buying, which means I can make more money, which is the goal. To get this $5,000 to $5,000 a month, and in order to do that as fast as possible, I need to be having high margins, high ROIs, and optimizing for these types of products right here. So this is kind of the goal I'm going for the next 30 days. I've sent in so far 70 units. I have another like 200 that are still on their way. There's been a lot of mix-ups with my account here with getting orders canceled because the billing and shipping don't match. It's very frustrating. But a lot of these orders did clear after I called them. So now I've received a good amount of units. Should be sending out another about 200 units sometime this week. And as these things begin to work in within the next 10 to 30 days, I think we're right around like day 14 right now. We should be seeing the sales roll in and then a lot more approvals come in. Now, just realize this, don't be going out there to source big brands because a lot of them, even if you sell a ton of units, won't be approved. Okay, and to give you another example of this, a student of mine, Damien, absolute killer. He's got an 1,000 account health score, the highest possible account health score you can have, right? Him and his girlfriend do over 150 grand a month in revenue. They're still unable to get approved in some brands with the most legit invoices. Okay, so there's just some brands that you'll never be able to tap into. And a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking they need to sell these brands and trying to go sell them right off the bat. And it's just never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. So you need to have sourcing methods that allow you to find products that other people are selling that you can also sell. That's the whole idea here. And that is exactly what we're doing here in this third phase from day 10 to 30. Hopefully this is done here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, day 30 to 90, we've done a lot. We've been able to buy a lot of products. Now we're making better decisions. This is all now about plugging in very simple systems on top of what we've already created to make this business a lot easier and more smooth. The very first thing we're going to need to install is Aura, the repricer. Now, when you are under 10K a month in revenue, you can actually get an Aura plan for $27 a month. So it's very, very cost effective. We'll probably break this pretty soon though, and then it goes up to 100 a month, and it even goes up further than that the more revenue you do. This is important because you're leaving money on the table if you're not using Aura. We don't know how to reprice properly. We're kind of guessing. Of course, we can look at a chart and see, but this goes for anyone that's new. You have no idea what you're looking at. You need to set up Aura because it's going to be able to price your products at a higher price to get you sales. It's going to be able to get you more sales because it's keeping you competitive in the buy box. And all in all, Aura is just a really, really good software. They're a really good team. They do onboarding calls and they set systems up for you inside of Aura very, very well. Okay, so I've been using Aura now for about 2 years. The only reason I'm talking about it is because this is legit what I use for the business. This is what all my students use. This is just the best repricer, in my opinion, for the money. It is definitely great and it does its job. And this is very important to install, honestly, ASAP, because we're leaving money on the table. It's going to make you much more than $27 when it's all said and done after it's able to reprice your products at a higher price. Then you're going to pay for it, a month with that $27. So again, there is an entry plan for beginners. This is going to be an important thing that I install right off the bat. Now, on top of Aura, I'm also going to be installing and setting up my seller board, which for me is going to be used strictly to track profits, right? I'm going to use this to track profits per item, profits per week, profits per month, but also for replens. And the biggest thing that I'm going to use this for is when I'm going to restock an item, I'm going to filter in that item for its whole time frame to see how truly profitable it was after shipping, after any returns potentially, after any random fees. I need to make sure that this product is profitable, and I'm going to obviously optimize for the ones in the catalog that are making the most margin. So Seller Board is going to give me a really clean breakdown of that. I'll also set up their autoresponder campaigns just to start getting some automated reviews coming in. And all in all, honestly, we honestly don't need any other tools. Keepa, SellerAmp, Aura, Seller Board. Like, these are all the 4 tools that we're going to need to operate this business at scale. Don't really need anything else, honestly. So this is going to be, again, for the next like 30 to 90 days as we're building up, just putting these in. And at this point, we should be at a point now where, since we're able to buy through so many products, the goal, of course, by day 90 is, of course, just rinse and repeat this system, right? Like, it's going to be buying replens. Like, I'm going to prioritize number 1 products to be replens, products that I've already sold through, that I can see are making me good money, that are still looking good on charts. These is where a majority of my spend is going to go. Now, the goal here is, of course, 100% of my spend can just go to these replens, but that's probably not going to be the case. More likely, maybe 70% in the beginning, because the catalog, the ecosystem is not that large yet. This will be a good number to hit. If I can spend 70% of my money on these replens, I'll be extremely happy. Now, the next bit that's going to be spent on is going to be this lead sheet that I've been building out now for the last, 3 months at this point, okay? The remainder 30% should be easily able to be spent here, and I'm able to spend 100% of my money now on products that I once found a while ago, right? This is why you got to go very wide to build out a nice big ecosystem of leads, so you always have things to buy. Now, of course, as I start to scale up, let's say we get to now month 3, and now let's just say we're spending 10K a month on inventory instead of 5K. Well, of course, we're going to need to be now spending more money on inventory. So we're going to have to keep growing out this lead sheet to be able to keep spending on more products, right? Because I'm not buying inventory to last me months. The most I'll buy inventory is to last me 4 weeks. So I can invest this 10K and I can recoup that 10K with the profits on top within the next 45 days. My things need to sell through within 30, and then within that time frame of shipping to Amazon, getting payouts, I'm going to be doing optimized shipping. Ideally, I get that money back with the profits, and I can continue to rinse and repeat this process over and over again. And the goal here being is to do about 6 turns per year. Okay, this means spending 10K, getting back the profit. Let's just say spend 10K, get back 13,500. Spend 13,500, get back 18,000, spend 18,000, you get what I'm saying, right? We could try and do this 6 times a year. If we can do more than that, that'd be great, but a minimum of 6 turns a year, which is obviously going to lead me to turning this money into a lot more quicker, because I'm not taking, 4 months to sell through the inventory, right? The goal here is to go wide. And this is why I've been building out this big lead sheet that I can keep tapping into. And of course, this goes without saying, okay, I've been doing Amazon for 4 years. I'm really good at sourcing. I can find products extremely quick. I can avoid products quick. I know what I'm looking at. So it's a different story for me. It's gonna be a lot easier for me. But this is the thing, right? You can't neglect sourcing in the beginning. You have to get good with the tools, SellerAmp and Keepa. This just takes practice. Of course, there's different strategies you can implement, but even if you know the exact strategy that I do, you can know the exact same thing that I'm doing. You're still gonna probably do it 10% of the speed that I am, because I've literally seen so many online arbitrage products. I can go through a list and I'm like, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. Oh, that's something new. Click into the one that's something new, right? Which is maybe 10% of the products that I go through a list. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's a new lead. I can put that into my lead sheet and look into buying it. So there's obviously levels to this. And again, you can't get around the fact of sourcing. Okay. You should be spending an hour a day sourcing and practicing. Now, how you do it is also important, right? Make sure you're doing good methods of sourcing. Again, I have a lot of videos on here. You should probably watch my brand infiltration video. That'll show you how to find auto-approved brands pretty easily with either SellerAmp reverse or even using Keepa Product Finder to just filter in products that have a lot of competition, sellers that have 0 reviews, and then again, seeing the types of products that they're also carrying. So this is it. This is literally the roadmap that I'm going to be following myself. Figure might as well make a video on this because the last 2 videos have been going over this, and this is a good topic to discuss, especially going into the new year within a couple months here. We're going to really try and build this thing out. And I know a lot of you that watch my videos may not have started yet. So I'm encouraging you to do that. Okay. Stop waiting on the sideline. Just start the business. If you've been watching my videos, just start it. I started a brand new one within about 2 to 3 weeks. We're already up and running. It doesn't need to take you forever to set up an LLC. Get this thing set up and get things rolling, especially if you've been watching my channel for a long time now. And of course, if you have money and you're trying to really grow this thing up quick and you're looking for some help, I encourage you to book in a call down below and we can do this stuff together. I work one-to-one with my students, and I truly believe that is exactly why they get the results that they do. And that's why I see so many new sellers of mine that can go from $5,000 to 40K literally within 3 months, can go from 0 to 20K within 30 days, is because this stuff works. It's just sometimes you need a helping hand, especially if you're brand new to this. Anyways, if you're not ready for that, I encourage encourage you to go through the rest of my videos here. I will be documenting this business still. Probably next week we'll have an update video. If you have any additional questions for me about anything, just shoot me over a DM over on my Instagram. We'll link that down below. And also, I think after watching this video, if you're struggling with sourcing, if you don't know what to buy, you should probably watch this video right here because it'll run you through exactly this model, which is the brand infiltration method that I've been talking about in this video today.